Good morning, everybody. So as I sit here in my tent this morning, all wrapped up in my sleeping bag, listening to the birds chirping, I'm longing for a cup of hot cocoa. It's a little chilly here, but I've had a few messages from some of you regarding some of the problems in the Lesson 3.5 web assignment that are a little bit more challenging. They're the last four. Now, these problems vary from person to person because it pulls, the WebAssign pulls random questions from a bank of questions, but this is an example of one of those more difficult questions. So it says, set up an equation and solve the following problem. The cube of a number equals 81 times that same number. So I'm going to use n to represent my number. And so initially it tells me that I want the cube of that number, so that means I need to raise n to the third power. And it says that that equals 81 times the same number. So that would be 81 times n, or 81n. Now we want to find n. So we've been solving by factoring. And to solve by factoring, we must first get our equation equal to 0. So I need to bring that 81n over here to the left-hand side of the equal sign with my n cubed. So I do so by subtracting 81n. Now my equation is equal to 0. Now when I look at this, I see that I have a GCF of n. I'm going to divide out that n. And if I divide everything here by n, I'll have n squared minus 81 is equal to 0. So we have two things that are being multiplied together here, and the answer we get when multiplying them is 0. That means either the first or the second factor must equal 0. So we set each of them equal to 0. So one possibility would be that n is 0. Well, think about it. If you cube 0, you get 0. And if you multiply 81 by 0, you get 0. So the two sides, left-hand and right-hand side of your original equation, come out equal to each other. So you know that's a solution. I take the other factor, n squared minus 81, and I set it equal to 0 as well. This one involves a little more work. I've got to solve for n. So I'll have to add 81 to undo the subtraction. And then the opposite of squaring something is to square root. But remember, every positive number has two square roots, one that is positive and one that is negative. And so the square root of 81 is either positive 9 or negative 9. So it says enter your answers as a comma-separated list, and generally they want you to put them in numerical order. So in WebAssign you'd say my lowest value is negative 9, my next lowest value is 0, and my highest possible number is 9. And if you plug the negative 9 into your original equation, you see the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side. If you plug the positive 9 into your equation, you see the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side.